We're speaking this morning to Dr. Nadeera Helmi. She is the co-founder of Viking Scuba based in Dungun, Terengganu, but she used to be a medical doctor. So that's what we're going to talk about with Dr. Nadeera this morning. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Now, Dr. Nadeera, you went through 6 years of studies in medical school, right?
Yeah, 5 years actually.
5 years. And you became a doctor for only a year before you make the switch of to become a scuba instructor.
It was actually 3 years.
Okay.
But I took some time off to go traveling and backpacking. So
Okay. So you were a doctor for about 3 years, on and
yes,
off.
yeah.
Okay. But was it a difficult decision for you to make at that point to switch careers from something so professional to something that, is very niche, I guess?
It was very difficult, I think. But it started in medical school. The thought of leaving medicine. So I hadn't even completed my course yet, and I was already contemplating leaving.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, but my parents were like, "Come on, you have 1 year left, just finish it." So that's what I did. And I thought, okay, after medical school, I just take some time off, go traveling, and see how I feel. But everyone was like, "No, you have to do your internship and save some money." So I thought, okay. So I worked for a year and a half to save money. Then I went backpacking, and kind of it just made the decision for me traveling.
Were your parents
Okay.
doctors as well, or?
No one in my family actually.
Right. So you were like, oh, come on, finish this, go into being a doctor and then fulfill their dreams kind of thing, is it?
Oh, they always tried to talk me out of it when I chose medicine.
All
Oh,
right.
really? Okay.
We had a cardiothoracic surgeon as our neighbor, and he was like, "No, don't do it. You won't have a life." But I was just like, "Yeah, no, I'm gonna do it."
Also, you really wanted to do it.
I wanted to do it.
Was that a childhood dream or was that like an ambition growing up that you wanted to be a doctor?
No, I wanted to be a pilot actually. Somehow, in high school, I took accounting, didn't like it. Then I did biology, and I loved it. So then it started from there.
Okay. All right. So, when you told your family that you were going to quit becoming a doctor, how did they take it?
My mom was supportive, so she was like, "Do what you love."
Mm-hmm.
My dad wasn't too happy about it, but he eventually accepted it, and he's now really supportive of what I'm doing. They both are actually my whole family. They really.
But for yourself personally, Nadeera, don't you feel like it's such a waste? Like 5 years you were in medical school and, to just give it up like that. Did you not feel like it was a waste?
Not really, because I learned a lot, not just about medicine, but I made, really good friends, life lessons. So I'm not the sort who will like regret my decisions. Yeah. So no, I don't think it's a waste. I still have some of the knowledge, but most of it, of course, I don't really remember anymore. It's been 2013 end of, and now it's 2020. So
Wow,
yeah,
7 years now.
yeah.
Well, if
Okay.
anybody needs an emergency doctor during a scuba trip, well, you're right there, right?
Pretty much, yes.
But were you worried about the risk involved, like in switching from I would say, stable career to something that might not make you a lot of money?
I was, but at that time I was still young. So I didn't have a family. I was single. I wanted to just travel around, be a scuba instructor, see the world. But somehow that dream, I met my husband not long after that. So then we got married and things changed. And now we have our own business. So yeah.
Okay. But at that point when you realized that this, that medicine was not for you, why didn't you just stop then and pursue something else that you were really interested in?
I guess the only thing that I was really interested in was scuba diving, because that's all. When I went backpacking, I did my dive master course. And after 18 months of backpacking, I was broke. So I went back to being a doctor. And somehow I managed to get into a training program. And it was two months before my final exam that I just decided, you know what? I'm not doing this.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
All right. So and then there's no turning back then.
there's no turning back. And I don't regret it at all. I can't see myself being in a hospital again, actually.
Really? Okay. But I mean, tell us about what got you into scuba diving in the first place. Maybe you can share with us a story of your first ever dive or something.
Yeah, it was my sister. So it was 2009. It was 1 year after I graduated, and I was working as an intern. And I was really stressed. So I came back for holiday, and my sister was like, "Why don't you get your scuba diving license? You know, you love it." And I was like, "No," I was really reluctant. I was sort of like at a low point with work and all that. But anyway, somehow she dragged me to Tioman. And since then, no turning back. So it's her fault.
All right. I was waiting for that. I was like, okay, so she's directing all the blame to the sister, older sister or younger sister?
Older sister.
Right. Pandai. Okay.
But what was it about scuba diving that got you hooked on it?
It's really peaceful underwater. Somehow, no matter what, when you're down there, you kind of forget everything. It's just so calming. The sound, the fishes, the corals, the colors. It's like almost therapy for some, I guess. Yeah, I guess it's a chance for you to escape the world and just switch off for like, because a dive is usually about an hour, I say. So, and you can do up to like 3-4 dives a day.
Did you meet your husband on one of these trips or?
Yeah, so I left my job, came back to Malaysia, and the first thing I did was my instructor course, because before then I was just a dive master.
Yep.
And he was managing the place there. So that's how I met him.
Okay. And then when did you both was it after the wedding or after was it after you guys got together that you decided to come up sorry, let me regroup my thoughts again. Okay. Was it after the wedding then you decided to start Viking scuba?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
So we worked in Perhentian for another year after we got married. Then we decided to start our own, because it was both our dreams to have, a dive center of our own.
And why in Tengol?
Tengol, when we started, was still pretty untouched. So the corals are really healthy, lots of fishes. Not many people, a fair few knew about it, but not as many as the other islands. And we thought it was a good opportunity, not many dive centers. But now Tango is really famous.
But how's the dive situation right now in this pandemic?
So we had to close during the first MCO for 3 months. But once we started again, so we had all new SOPs and all that. We had to reduce the number of divers on the boat. But it was quite busy, even weekdays. Usually trips to Tango, because we do day trips from Dungun, gets busy on the weekends because people from KL would drive down. But this time, weekdays, we had people. So yeah, it was quite good actually.
Okay. So it wasn't
for-
affected. Yeah.
Foreigners though? Did you used to get a lot of foreigners?
Not as many as the other islands, but we do get some, especially from the bigger resorts nearby, like Tanjung Jara and all that.
So you weren't adversely affected when they weren't allowed to come in?
Yeah, not as bad as Pulau Tioman and Perhentian.
Okay. But Has your medical degree helped you in any way in your current career?
Definitely has. So I just before I had my first son, used to teach all the emergency first responder courses. It's good. And up to now, I still do it for all the crew every year, just to make sure everyone's refreshed and know what's going on. Also, I guess people are a little bit more confident knowing, especially when they're doing the open water course. Yeah, but I've stopped teaching for a few years now. Hopefully, I'll continue either next year or the year after.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I mean, if I were to go diving and I knew there was a doctor on board, I'd be a bit more. I'll be a bit more relaxed, I guess.
But all the instructors are trained anyway, so they all know what to do in case an unfortunate event occurs.
What did your husband do before he got into scuba? Was he a brain surgeon or something or what?
So he did engineering,
Also the same. I was just trying to figure. Yeah.
and I think he worked for like a month and left because
Okay.
his family owns a resort and a dive center in Perhentian. So that's where he was managing. So he started when he was really young, and he loves the ocean. We actually tried to open we opened a Viking scuba dive center in Glenmarie, Shah Alam, and lived in Shah Alam for a year, and he just couldn't take it. He's like, I need to be close to the beach while we moved to Dungan.
So the call of the ocean was too strong.
Yes.
Yeah, that engineer and a doctor has now gone to the ocean.
Well, Shah Alam was quite close to Klang. That's the sea over there.
What?
Yes. Totally.
But I mean, Dr. Nadeera, with the current situation of the pandemic and all that, do you wish that you can go back into the medical field to help out?
Yes, I do. But it's a bit complicated because I've not kept up my registration as a medical practitioner.
Okay, you have to keep up a registration to
Like
be a doctor.
license?
Yeah, license. So you have to keep practicing, and I think you can only take a certain period of time off. Yeah.
And
So
you had okay.
there's no way they're gonna accept me back.
But is there an itch for you though? Sometimes you're watching Grey's Anatomy or something. I'm like, ooh, I wish I could do that again.
No.
That was the quickest answer ever.
But when you were in medical school, did you ever think of like specializing in any kind of specialization when it comes to the medical field?
When I was in university, I wanted to be a psychiatrist, specializing in addiction medicine. But then when I got back into, after traveling, when I got back into medicine, I was specializing as a physician. So it was basic physician training, which is with psychiatry.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened, but it just happened.
Maybe that's why it made you lose interest.
Yeah, maybe. That's what I was thinking as well.
Yeah.
Maybe if I got into psychiatry, I would have stayed, but...
Oh, well, that's the way life is, right?
Yeah. You can only plan, but
Okay.
things just go differently.
Yeah. But what is your plan moving forward? I know you're almost due with your second child now. What is the plan?
So we are definitely going to stay in Dungan, I think, for a very long time. At the moment, we have a dive center, and our plan is to have a little resort of our own. And yeah, I guess just live the kampong life by the beach and enjoy life, the simple things in life.
Yeah.
Are you concerned at all about COVID still affecting your business?
Yes, I think everyone is, and also I'm because I'm supposed to go back to my parents' place in Shah Alam to deliver, but we are not so sure now. So yeah, there's so many things that is worrying us about COVID, and I'm sure it's the same for everyone.
Yeah.
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 But your parents are actually, have you taught your parents how to dive?
For my niece when she was 10 years old, but not my parents. No, my mom can't swim, and my dad tried to, but he backed out 5 minutes before we started.
Mm.
So uh they're never gonna go in.
No,
How about your
I think it's
kid, like your older one?
he's 2 years old.
Okay, he's still too young.
Still too. Yeah, but he knows how to use the equipment and all that.
Wow, at 2 years old.
Yeah,
That's pretty impressive.
So he
Now,
knows how to put everything together.
or not put things together, but he knows this is for your eyes, and the mask is for your face, and the fins are for your feet, and the regulators for your mouth and your breathing. He knows all that.
Okay.
so he's definitely not gonna be a doctor. Is that what you're trying to say?
He can be anything he wants. Actually, I don't mind if he wants to be. Go for it. But I'll tell him he won't have a life.
Because you've gone through that before. But
Yes.
as a mother, I know when I used to dive quite actively before I got pregnant, but when I got pregnant, I just stopped, and then I've never continued again. Was it difficult for you as a mother to still not go diving and all that with a
Yeah.
child? Yeah.
Yeah, it's very difficult. Because I don't have any help looking after my son here. So I do everything. I work and I look after him and mend the house. So initially I was like, oh, I really miss, diving and going. We actually brought him a few times to Tango. But now I'm just used to it, I guess. But I'm looking forward to next year after my pantang so I can go diving again.
Yeah. It's an addiction, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I've never done it before. I don't know what. All my friends tell me you should do it. You should do it. So I might. You know what? I might quit radio and then become a dive master.
Yeah, why not?
Is it possible in his 40s to become a dive instructor still?
Definitely.
Really?
Yeah, there are dive instructors who are like in their 60s.
Yeah, but he's never done any diving though.
I'm not even good at swimming, man.
You'll be fine. Yeah, as long as you're not afraid of the water, you'll be fine. Because it's easier to teach someone who's not panicky all the time. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So bye, Bel. I'm heading off to Tenggol.
Maybe I should go too, right?
Yeah. Jeez.
Since
Sounds
my
so
husband is
fun.
working in Terengganu, we
See
should
you
all
all
quit our day jobs and go become dive instructors.
Yeah.
You're saying what?
See you all in 4 hours.
Now, Dr. Nadeera, what's your advice then to someone who's thinking of maybe changing their career to an industry that they've not studied in, or maybe they're not really that good in?
I think once you set your mind and just do it, because like if you just keep thinking what's going to happen, maybe I won't have enough or this, then it's never going to happen and you might regret it later on. So just do it and make it work somehow.
Like you have. Yeah. Well, thank you so much
I like that. 'Cause
yeah.
it actually works. My one final question. What happened to that sister who got you into diving in the first place?
Oh, she doesn't dive anymore.
What happened?
But I taught her daughter how to dive when she was 10. So I was saying before, and she's now 16 and she dives with her dad.
Right.
So her husband, my sister and her husband did their open water course ages ago in Tango when there was nothing, there was no resort. They were on a fishing boat. So it's nice that they've, now come here, dive with us and told us stories of how it was back then as compared to now.
Has your mom and dad forgiven her?
She's the angel in the family.
Oh,
So
right.
How difficult is it to get an open water license?
It's not that difficult. You just need 4 days. You have to fill out a medical form. There's like a little swimming test. So you can either swim or snorkel, and you need to float for 10 minutes. And other than that, it's quite simple. Even the exam, there's a written exam that's quite simple as well. A little bit of physics, but
Okay. Bel used to
Are they-
swim for
yeah, yeah.
state, man. He used to swim for
Ah, yeah.
Sarawak. Yeah.
yeah, that should be perfect. Well, you have your license already, Bel?
I do, but I think it's expired already because I haven't gone diving in like 10 years, I feel.
Oh, you just need to do like a refresher.
Refresher. Yeah.
I can do the floating thing. I'm like a dugong.